Imagine that every night, without knowing it, you're taking something that slowly dims the lights of your mind. We're not talking about an illegal drug, nor some exotic substance. We're talking about a simple pill you probably have in your medicine cabinet. A pill many people use to sleep, calm anxiety, control their bladder, or relieve allergies. But it might be silently destroying your memory and accelerating the onset of dementia. Stay with me, because in this video I'll reveal which pills these are, what they do to your brain, what the latest studies say, and most importantly, how to protect your mind before it's too late. And if you're over 60, or care for someone who is, this might be a life-changing warning. This channel is for people who want to live longer and better, with clarity and dignity. So if you care about your brain health, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every week, we bring essential content to protect your body and mind. Question for you. Do you take anything to sleep or calm your nerves? Have you ever checked if it could affect your memory? Comment, I want to age with a healthy brain, if you also dream of reaching your golden years with clarity, strength, and dignity. What you're about to discover could change your mental health forever. In the next few minutes, you'll understand why a common pill, one that seems harmless, is linked to brain deterioration and an increased risk of dementia. I'll show you exactly which medications are involved, the specific damage they cause to your nervous system, the studies that confirm it, and most importantly, the safer alternatives and how you can start protecting yourself today. We're going to speak clearly. No fear-mongering, but no sugarcoating either. If you've ever taken something to sleep, relieve allergies, or control your bladder, you need to hear this. Because this isn't just about a pill. It's about your ability to remember, to think, to recognize the people you love, to preserve what's most valuable, your mind. And at the end of this video, I'll share actionable recommendations and a powerful tool to begin restoring your brain health from the inside out. Stay until the end. I promise every second will be worth it. It started with insomnia and ended with something no one expected. Elena was 67 when she began taking a pill to help her sleep. Nothing unusual, she just wanted to rest better. At first, it worked. She slept more peacefully, tossed and turned less. It gave her back some energy. But over time, things started to change. She began forgetting where she left her keys. She missed important dates. One day, she even called her granddaughter by the name of her long-deceased sister. Her family brushed it off as aging. It's normal, they said. It wasn't. A couple of years later, the diagnosis was clear. Mild cognitive impairment, with a high risk of progressing to dementia. And one of the biggest red flags for her doctor was the combination of medications she had been taking daily. Among them, that seemingly harmless sleeping pill. An anticholinergic. It wasn't her age. It was the cumulative effect of something that seemed safe. This story isn't unique. It happens every single day. That's why you need to know what's really going on. Because what's left unsaid can also do damage. Have you or someone you know started having memory issues after starting a new medication? Share your story in the comments. What they are and why they're dangerous. Anticholinergic drugs are medications that block the action of a vital brain chemical called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is like the master switch of your nervous system. It allows your brain cells to communicate, helps you form and store memories, supports focus and learning, and even controls involuntary functions like digestion, heart rate, and muscle movement. When acetylcholine is blocked, the brain's communication begins to break down. Neural signals weaken, reaction times slow down, and cognitive performance declines. What makes this truly dangerous is that many everyday medications, some sold over the counter, interfere with this essential neurotransmitter without you ever realizing it. Anticholinergics are commonly used for insomnia and sleep problems, allergies, anxiety, overactive bladder, motion sickness, irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. And while they may relieve symptoms in the short term, they do so by interrupting critical brain activity. It's like shutting down all the power in your house just to fix a single light bulb. In the short run, anticholinergics may cause drowsiness, blurred vision, dry mouth, or difficulty concentrating. But over time, weeks, months, or years, the effects can become permanent. Memory loss, confusion, personality changes, even full-blown dementia. A 2019 study published in the British Medical Journal found that people who took strong anticholinergics for more than a year had a 49% increased risk of developing dementia. Another 10-year study published in JAMA Internal Medicine tracked over 3,400 older adults and showed a direct link between cumulative anticholinergic exposure and irreversible cognitive decline. And a 2021 meta-analysis involving over 60,000 people confirmed that long-term anticholinergic use was significantly associated with memory impairment, slower executive function, and overall brain dysfunction. What's even more alarming is that older adults are more vulnerable. According to both Harvard Medical School and the Mayo Clinic, natural levels of acetylcholine already decline with age. So when these drugs are added into the equation, the cognitive impact accelerates dramatically. Yet most people have no idea that what they're taking every night for sleep or allergies might be hurting their brain in the long run. So let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked the side effects of what you're taking? Comment below. Have you ever felt more forgetful, confused, or mentally foggy after using a harmless medication? Common medications that you probably have in your cabinet right now. This is where it gets serious. Anticholinergic drugs aren't rare or experimental. They're sitting on your bathroom shelf, in your nightstand drawer, or right inside your travel bag. Some are over-the-counter. Others are prescribed regularly by doctors who may not always mention their long-term cognitive risks. And that's the danger. Their familiarity makes them invisible. Let's break them down by common use. For allergies or colds, diphenhydramine, Benadryl, ZZZ-Quil, many PM versions of cold meds. Chlorpheniramine, brompheniramine. For sleep, Tylenol PM, Unisom, NyQuil, Advil PM contain diphenhydramine or doxylamine. For anxiety or tension, hydroxyzine, Vistaril, Atarax. Amitriptyline, a tricyclic antidepressant often used off-label for anxiety or sleep. For overactive bladder, oxybutynin, Ditropan. Tolterodine, Detrol. Solifenacin, Vesicare. Darafenacin, Enablex. For IBS or stomach cramps, dicyclamine, Bentil. Clydinium. For dizziness, nausea, or motion sickness, scopolamine patch. Meclizine, Antivert, Dramamine. Other medications with significant anticholinergic activity. Paroxetine, SSRI for depression and anxiety. Carbamazepine, used for seizures and mood stabilization. Quetiapine, an antipsychotic often prescribed off-label for insomnia. What's most alarming is that many older adults take more than one of these at the same time, without realizing the cognitive cost. For example, someone might take Benadryl at night, oxybutynin for bladder control, and amitriptyline for sleep or pain, all three blocking acetylcholine daily. That's a triple hit to the brain's communication system. A study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that over 35% of older adults use at least one medication with moderate to strong anticholinergic effects, and many of them are completely unaware. And the danger grows with time. Taking one of these medications once may not harm you, but 2 or 3 every day for months or years. That's when the brain starts to fade. What seems harmless can quietly steal your memory, focus, and clarity. So let me ask, have you taken any of these medications? Were you surprised to see something on this list that you or a loved one uses often? Comment below. What do you think now that you know the real impact these everyday pills can have on your brain? Scientific backing that confirms what no one wants to admit. If all of this sounds exaggerated, listen closely. This isn't fear-mongering. It's the hard truth supported by some of the most respected studies in modern medicine. A 2019 study published in the British Medical Journal followed more than 284,000 adults over age 55. The result? People who used anticholinergic drugs, especially for depression, bladder problems, and Parkinson's, were 49% more likely to develop dementia. Yes, nearly 1 in 2. But this warning didn't come out of nowhere. Back in 2015, the Adult Changes in Thought study, published in JAMA Internal Medicine, tracked over 3,400 older adults for 10 years. Researchers found that cumulative anticholinergic use increased dementia risk by as much as 54%, even after participants had stopped taking the drugs. In other words, the damage could continue even after the medication was discontinued. And the timeline is shorter than most people think. A systematic review published in Neuroepidemiology, analyzing 21 international studies, found that taking these medications for just 3 months raised the risk of dementia by an average of 46%. Not years. Not decades. 90 days. Another study took it further. Using MRI and PET scans, scientists examined the brains of older adults who regularly took anticholinergic medications. The findings: visible brain atrophy, slower brain metabolism, functional changes that could not be explained by age alone. This isn't just about mental fog or forgetting where you left your keys. This is neurological damage, physical loss, and in many cases, it's irreversible. Even Harvard Health Publishing warns about this, calling anticholinergic use in older adults an underestimated threat to memory and thinking. That's why this message matters. Because every month you take these drugs, your brain might be silently slipping backwards without you realizing it. Until one day, it's too late. Until memory becomes fear. Until confusion becomes disconnection, and you begin to lose who you are. Have you ever heard of these studies before? Did you imagine that something so common could have such devastating effects? Let me know in the comments. Your experience might be the wake-up call someone else needs. How they affect the brain. Imagine your brain as a network of millions of wires, all connecting to each other. Every time you think, remember, speak, or move, those wires spark with a signal, acetylcholine. Now imagine that someone cuts that signal over and over again. That's what anticholinergic medications do. They block acetylcholine. And without it, neurons can't communicate properly. Key areas of the brain shut down, like the hippocampus, in charge of memory, and the cerebral cortex, responsible for focus and logical thinking. On top of that, these medications affect the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps regulate digestion, heart rate, and relaxation. The result: more brain fog, slower thinking, confusion, and over time, brain shrinkage and cognitive decline. This is especially dangerous for older adults, because our natural levels of acetylcholine already decline with age. So taking something that blocks it just speeds up a fragile process. Can you imagine turning off your brain's power every single day without even knowing it? Think about it and comment. Did you know the role acetylcholine plays in your mental health? Have you ever felt more mentally foggy after taking a medication? Safer alternatives. Yes, you can care for your health without shutting down your brain. This video isn't about fear. It's about awareness. About realizing that we have options, and that we deserve to make better ones. If you struggle with sleep, anxiety, allergies, or bladder issues, there are safer, effective ways to feel better without putting your brain at risk. Let's take it one step at a time. For sleep or frequent nighttime waking, low-dose melatonin, 0.3 to 1 milligram, taken at the right time, can support your natural sleep rhythm. Magnesium glycinate or citrate, which helps relax muscles and supports melatonin production. Avoid magnesium oxide, as it's poorly absorbed. Ashwagandha, an adaptogenic herb that may improve sleep quality in some people. Chamomile, either as a tea or in capsule form. Guided meditation, binaural beats, or simple sleep hygiene, like avoiding screens and bright lights before bed. For anxiety or constant tension, deep breathing techniques, mindfulness, or gentle yoga. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, which has proven effective even for older adults. L-theanine, an amino acid from green tea that promotes calm without sedation. Valerian root or passion flower, used under professional guidance, especially if you're already on other medications. For allergies, Choose second-generation antihistamines that are far less likely to affect the brain, such as loratadine, Claritin, cetirizine, Zyrtec, fexofenadine, Allegra. These medications are designed to stay out of the brain and work primarily in the body. For overactive bladder, ask your doctor about mirabegron, Myrbetriq, a medication that works differently and doesn't block acetylcholine. Consider bladder training, Kegel exercises, reducing caffeine and alcohol, and timed bathroom visits to retrain your bladder gently. Now, what if you're already taking an anticholinergic drug? Do not stop it on your own. Talk to your doctor. Bring them the information you've learned here. Ask if a safer alternative is available. Let them know that your cognitive health matters, and you want to protect it now, not when it's too late. Because this isn't just about living longer. It's about living well, with clarity, memory, and independence. You deserve to age with strength, not sedation. And it all begins with simple, conscious decisions. Even the smallest ones. Comment below. Would you like a full video on natural routines to protect your brain and improve sleep without risky medications? Your brain doesn't need luck. It needs strategy. There are things you can't control, the passing of time, genetics, certain illnesses. But you can decide how you live each day, what goes into your body, what you do for your mind. And that starts with awareness, just like what you've gained today. This isn't about fear, it's about consciousness and action. If anything you heard today resonated with you, don't ignore it. Start making smarter choices. The way you eat, rest, and move can either feed your brain or slowly take its strength away. That's why I wrote Keto Made Easy, a step-by-step guide to help you reduce inflammation, stabilize your energy, and support your brain function through simple, real food. It's not about perfection. It's about giving your body and mind the foundation they deserve. You'll find the link in this video's description. Take a moment to check it out. It might be exactly what you've been looking for. And if this video helped you, give it a like, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the channel. Every week, we share tools to help you age with strength, clarity, and purpose. So tell me, are you ready to protect your brain and feel like yourself again?